Hi everyone, welcome to the 6th nature session. Today we'll be carrying on with the theme of trees that Alistair talked about on Tuesday. So we're going to be covering over some different topics. We're going to be trying to work out the age of trees, and it's something that you can do at home as well. Thank you to everyone who sent in their lovely tree hugging photos, especially to Sophie and Chloe, Jay, Alyssa, Lottie and Ed. Keep sending them in, keep posting them in the comments to the video, we love to see them. Okay, so in today's session I'm going to be telling you how to measure the age of a tree without cutting it down. So often if you were to measure a tree you'd have to chop it down and count the rings inside, but obviously if you want to measure loads of trees it's very wasteful, you end up cutting down loads of trees. So today's session is going to tell you how to measure a tree without cutting it down, and what you need: a piece of string, a tape measure, and a calculation, piece of paper and a pen as well. Okay, so if you want to follow me, what you're going to do is you need to take your piece of string, make sure it's quite big, choose a tree, and then you're going to wrap the string around the centre of the tree, make sure it's at least a metre off the ground, and you're going to meet the two pieces together. Now what you need to do is make sure you note where the two pieces of string connect together. I pinch it with my fingers. Okay, and then you can take it away, make sure you know which end is the bit that went round the tree. Take it over to your tape measure, and then you're going to lay it next to the tape measure to measure how big your tree is around the middle. So it is, reading from the red number, which is centimetres, 60 centimetres. Okay, so the circumference, that's how big the tree is around the middle, is 60 centimetres, and that's what I'm going to add into our calculation here. So 60 centimetres. Okay, now what I've got here is the circumference, 60 centimetres, and 2.5. 2.5 is the average amount the tree will grow in a year. Now this is calculated from scientists that have measured lots of different trees and their different growth rates, but what will happen is the trees tend to, on average, grow 2.5 centimetres each year. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide 60 by 2.5, and you might have noticed our little cat's just wandered into the camera. Don't get distracted. We're going to measure 60 centimetres divided by 2.5 equals 24. Okay, and this gives us the age of the tree. Now roughly, it's not an exact science, but you can roughly estimate that the tree there, if we go back, is around 24 years old. And I forgot to tell you, this is an apple tree. Okay, so this apple tree is roughly 24 years old. So this is something that you could do at home. You could go, if you have a tree in your garden that you can get to, or if maybe on your walk you spend a little time, maybe you take a piece of string with you, you can take the measurements, get the data, and then bring it back and do the calculation at home. And what we'll do is we'll make sure this is all up on the Facebook page so that you can go back and find it later, or you can rewatch the video whenever you need to if you want to carry on and maybe do a sort of survey of the trees in your garden or the trees in your local area that you can go to.
As Alistair said the other day, leaves are a fantastic clue to what sort of tree it is. If I was looking at this leaf, I would notice how it spreads out a bit like my hand. I would feel it and see how it's a little bit hairy. I'd look at the edges and see how they're jagged, and then I'd go find a book. Now if I look in the book, I will see, that this is a London plane tree. There are also other clues. For example, it's seeds. It has teeny tiny seeds. Well, hang on. That looks pretty big to me. I think we need to look a bit closer. So if we look, those balls are actually made up of lots of small seeds. Those balls are actually made up of lots of tiny little seeds that blow, as you can see, on the wind. So if I were to put a few of these seeds on my hand, have a blow, there you go, they disappear. Other clues include the bark. Now these bark is really interesting because it peels off, and a lot of people like that because it absorbs some pollutants, and then when it peels off, in their mind it's as if the pollutants are gone.
Okay everyone, it's time for today's quiz. Need to make sure you've remembered everything from the last video on Tuesday and today's video. There's going to be 6 true and false questions, so make sure you have your paper and your pencil ready. Okay, question 1. The oldest tree is 4,800 years old. Is that true or false? Question 2. Trees and plants use carbon dioxide to make food. Is that true or false? Question 3. Roots grow in the same pattern as the branches of the tree above. Is that true or false? Question 4. Conkers come from a pony chestnut tree. Is that true or false? Question 5. Brazil nuts come from trees. Is that true or false? And lastly, question 6. We call trees that keep their leaves all year round always green trees. Is that true or is it false? Okay, so it's time for the answers. Make sure you've got all of your 6 answers written down and then tick across them as we go along. So question number 1, the answer is true. The Great Basin bristlecone pine tree in America is 4,800 years old. Question 2. The answer is also true. So you add CO2 and water with sun, creates oxygen and the food the plants need. Question 3. The answer is false. The roots grow at no pattern and isn't connected to the branches above. Question 4. The answer is also false. They come from a horse chestnut tree. So when you go back in September, your conkers that you'll find will come from a horse chestnut tree. Question 5. The answer is true. Brazil nuts come from a tree and they grow in Brazil. And then question 6. The answer is false. We should all know that trees that keep their leaves all year round are called evergreen trees. Okay, let me know what you've got in the comments below. Give yourself a mark out of 6. And give yourself a thumbs up if you got 6 out of 6. Well done. Okay, so today's challenge, we would like you to get a bit crafty. We're still taking on the theme of trees, but what we like you to do is to create a sort of memento of your walk out in any outdoor area really. So you need a piece of paper, a crayon, a pen and some elastic bands. It'd be great if you can take these with you as you go, and then you can choose somewhere. Maybe it's the same tree that you'll measure the age of as well, but we'd like you to sort of do this. So, okay, the first thing that we want you to do is take a bark rubbing of a tree that you choose. So it could be something that's really rough, or it's got loads of bumps on it, or maybe it's even a smooth bark. So what you need is your crayon and your piece of paper, and you're going to use the crayon on its side. What we want you to do is put it up against the tree, and then you're going to rub the crayon along the bark to sort of see what pattern it creates. Now you can do this with a pencil if you don't have a crayon, or even a chalk, but the crayon on its side does work the best. So try and get as much of the bark as you can, fill up the piece of paper. If you've got multiple colours of crayons, you can make a pattern. It's up to you and what you want to take out with you. Okay, once you've got your bark rubbing, what you want to do is you want to turn the piece of paper over and get your pen. We would like you to describe the tree. So we could use any adjectives to describe the tree. We've got some here, so rough, thin, smooth, scratchy, however you want to describe its colour, its texture, its shape, whatever you want to do, and write those description words on the back. So for example, I'd go with smooth in some places, bumpy, I think if it was grey, the colour would describe it, maybe kind of shiny in places as well. And then once you've got your list of description words, you're going to then roll it up. So you need to roll up your piece of paper. Okay, make sure it's into a nice tube. And then you're going to put your elastic bands. Now this is something that you can do while you're walking along. It's quite nice to collect maybe some mementos of your walk. So you're going to put some elastic bands in there. Another one here. And I've put them all at the top for a reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these branches that I've collected and I'm going to put them into the elastic bands like this. Now you might start to see what I'm doing with these sort of twigs and sticks. Okay, maybe you've guessed it, but I'm trying to make a tree. So I've got the bark of my tree and I've got the branches of my tree, and it's just something nice for you to take back, a bit of the outdoors back into your indoors, just for you to maybe have, and you can sort of show off what you've done. This is what we'd like you to do. Make sure you take a photo of it. Make sure you post it on Facebook with your name and your age and where you are. We'd love to see your creations. You can get as creative as you want. You can decorate it if you want to. You can do whatever you want to it, but please show us what you've made. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you've learned lots about trees from both me and from Alistair, and we'll see you again soon.